how do I mean, I get what you're saying, but how do I not forget the teachings?
Well, forgetting is about inactivity. In other words, the answer to the question is you forget what's not active. In other words, if you can forget something that's meaningful, then you could certainly forget something that's not helpful. So you could say, I'm really good at forgetting. It's just a matter of what your attention is turned upon. In other words, in this physical world, it is really logical that you would give a lot of your attention to what's going on around you. And when you're giving your attention to what's going on around you, you're sort of forgetting who you really are. In other words, if you're living financial shortage and it's vivid and the bills are coming in and people are hounding you and you're uncomfortable about it, it's easy to keep that active, and it's easy to forget prosperity under those conditions, because you can't live prosperity and lack of it at the same time, you see. So let's give a definition to forgetting and remembering. Let's call it what it really is. It's an active vibration or an inactive vibration. Esther has been noticing what she is calling a phenomenon in her own experience, where she'll be almost ready to move down an unnecessarily unpleasant path, thought-wise, and the thought will go right out of her head. It's as if another vibration just took over and kept that one from coming. In other words, she forgot it. It's all about focus. And we know in this situation, you're wondering why you could forget something that is beneficial, but it's all about focus. If you've got not enough money active in your vibration, then you are essentially forgetting how to be prosperous. If you're focused upon someone who is having a really hard time in a relationship, then you are, for the time that you're focused there, you are forgetting about how to have a really good relationship. You cannot watch your television today without forgetting most of the well-being that you know. Your television is a veritable wasteland. There's not much well-being going on your television. It's mostly stuff that if you watch it, it will cause you to forget the well-being that is abundant. And yet, you have this planet spinning in its orbit that is completely observable, impossible to forget, and a sun that comes round every day to warm your planet, every single day. And yet you can get so immersed in crap. There's just so much that you can focus upon that causes you not to remember. So we think this is a really good conversation. What is it that you want to remember? I want to remember that I live in a vibrational universe, and I want to remember that I'm vibrational. I want to remember that I'm worthy. And how are you going to remember it? What is remembering? You see, your brain is not a storage cabinet. It's not like a file cabinet where you're putting things. It's a transmitting and receiving mechanism. And when you're on a frequency, that's what you're remembering. And law of attraction will compound it and help you to remember it more and more and more and more and more. And that really is what we mean by getting out ahead of it vibrationally. I'm the creator of my own reality, which means I'm the author of my vibration, which means I get to choose the thoughts I think. And there are so many things to look at that I would like to amplify. And these are the things that I would like to talk about. If you would treat every day like a buffet and start in a general sense, in other words, divide your world, your personal world, into 4 categories. Call it my body, call it my work, call it my relationships, call it my house or my dwelling. And then as you define each of those categories, ask yourself, what do I want to see relative to this? What is the best thing about my house? It's warmth. It's a haven for me. It's a place that I get to go. It's a place where space that's carved out for me. It's a place where I can have privacy. It's a place where I get to be. It's a place where I get to bring my things. In other words, these are the positive aspects of my house, my body, this vessel that lets me translate this physical experience into something that is tactile, this body that moves me around. I am more efficient than any machine. I have more flexibility and more resiliency. My genius, brilliant, magnificent body, my relationships, identify the positive aspects of them. These people are so much fun. These people are so nice to be with. These people have created this environment. These people are managing this environment. These people are making the beds and cooking the food and fixing the highways. These people, so many people to appreciate. So much in your world to activate and to keep active and to remember. And so much of your world that really isn't worth keeping activated. It served its purpose. It showed you what you wanted. The step oneness of it is now done. It's no longer of advantage to you, you see. You are the creator of your own reality. The world is responding to you. Everyone that you interact with is a co-creator in the vibration that you've got going on. And there are no mistakes ever, 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 ever. There's never a vibrational mismatch. Law of attraction is definite and kind and consistent. Do you want to create life by default, or do you want to be a deliberate creator? Do you believe that there is fun in deliberate creation?
Absolutely.
We want to say to you, it's where the only fun is. Because when stuff comes that you have not identified and acknowledged as something that you desire, and then work to achieve vibrational alignment with, when it comes, you don't even notice it because it's not on your radar. But when you have deliberately identified something that you want, honed it out of the absence of it, maybe even, and you have found a way to focus even in the absence of the manifestation of it, by focusing upon the feeling of it, by the why of it, not the how or the where or the who or the when, but the why of it. Why do I want this? Then, as it begins filling into your grid, then you're excited about it, you see. We see you excited over a parking place, and you should be, because it is as easy to create a castle as a button. It just depends on what's in your line of focus and what you're allowing. Do you believe that you can create buttons? Do you believe that you can create castles? Do you believe that you can create buttons? Do you believe that buttons are important to create? Does everything have to be bouncing off the wall enthusiasm? Is there power in satisfaction? Do you like molding the clay of your mind deliberately? Do you think that you need to think more or rest more? Do you think that you need to try harder or try less? Do you associate trying with action or thinking? Do you need to try to think better thoughts? Do you need to try to think better thoughts, or do you need to relax into better thoughts? Will the better thought come in the relaxation? Do you think that you get more done with your long list of things you need to do, or do you get more done by allowing yourself more leeway? If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would decide to be lazy. We would decide to be lazy for a little while, because in your giving yourself permission to be lazy, you're giving yourself permission to allow your grid to fill in with everything that you've already chosen and put into your vortex. The word lazy has an unpleasant connotation, doesn't it? Because it's humans measuring themselves against other humans based upon a flawed premise. And the flawed premise is, the more you do, the more you're worth. And that is the most flawed of all flawed premises. I'd like to give you the premise that is at the basis of your universe. The better you feel, the more you allow. You could not be more deserving. You came as deserving beings into this time-space reality with powerful and clear intent. You've been mixing it up with others and defining what's important, not only to you personally, but important to you on behalf of others. You've included in your vortex a desire for the well-being of far more than your personal self. But it is necessary for you to tend to the well-being of your personal self in order to be a productive advocate for the well-being for anyone else. In other words, you cannot give, or you cannot extend, or you cannot punctuate, or you cannot accentuate, you cannot assist anything that you are not already feeling. Which means, if you are wanting in an altruistic way to be of advantage to everyone you know, you first have got to find a way to be of advantage to yourself. Which means you want to carve out more time to be nicer to yourself, more private time, more time under the bridge, more time where others are not telling you what to do, more time when you are satisfying your own personal intention for things. If we were standing in your physical shoes and someone were to ask you to do something, we would stop in the middle of the request and we would evaluate it completely, and we would say to them, I sincerely desire to accomplish this request that you are offering, and it is my expectation that I will be able to do that, since I am in this relationship with you and you are requesting it of me, employer or mate or parent or child or whoever it is. It is my expectation that I will be able to accomplish this. I just have to insert one thing in the foreground of this request. I will accomplish it for you as long as I can first accomplish ease for myself in the process. Esther, on one of the earlier cruises, made sure that everyone received an easy button from Staples. Everyone got one. And Esther found a box of them in the attic the other day, and she spread them all around her house because she wants to amplify the ease of things. She wants to no longer justify the well-being that flows to her by pointing out how hard she's working in relationship to others. She wants to emphasize the well-being that's flowing to her by remembering the vibrational alignment that she is achieving. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do these things every day, and then anything else that you have time for. We would meditate for 15 minutes every day, which means we would quiet our mind with the simple intention of allowing our cork to float. We would go outside no matter what the weather, and we'd move around in it in appreciation of this planet. We would look up and around, and we would find things to acknowledge, and we would talk about them right out loud. Esther walks through her gardens and says to everything, you are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite stone on the pathway. You are my favorite bird in the tree. You are my favorite flower in bloom. You are my favorite flower not in bloom. You are my favorite tree. You are my favorite bush. You are my favorite frog. You are my favorite frog. You kept me awake all night, but you are still my favorite frog. In other words, so first thing, meditate. Second thing, spend more time outside. Third thing, we would buy a notebook. We would call it My Book of Positive Aspects. And we would fill at least 3, 4, 5 is even better, pages of positive aspects. 5 different subjects, and write the positive aspects of it. Training your vibration into that upward place. And then there is one last thing that if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do every single day. We would look upward and outward. It's best if you do it outside or standing at a window. And we would acknowledge that there are universal forces that are focused right at you. We would acknowledge by calling it by name, if you have a name that you like, and we would say, I acknowledge that I am the object of your positive attention, and I'm appreciating your continual gaze on behalf of my well-being. And today, no matter where I am, no matter where I am going, no matter what I am doing, and no matter who I am doing it with, I will be in conscious awareness that you too are there with me, appreciating me, supporting me, assisting me, acknowledging me, inspiring me, guiding me, having fun with me, acknowledging me, supporting me, assisting me, inspiring me, helping me, guiding me, aware of me, loving me, showing me, inspiring me, guiding me, helping me, uplifting me, showing me. Get into an endless loop of that acknowledgement and watch what begins to happen in your life as soon as this day. Your vortex is filled to the brim with specific requests that you have put there and that you are deserving of the realization of. And it's time for those realizations to be flooding into your experience at a rate that will astonish those who surround you. It's time for you to remember what you've put there and to bring it forward active into your today experience.